Hello and welcome to Singapore, where I am literally about to miss my connection. Today's flight is currently considered to be the longest flight in the world, from here in Singapore to New York's John F. Kennedy International. I made it to my gate just in time, but I couldn't film the cabin, so this is some footage from an earlier flight aboard Singapore. Singapore business class is laid out in a 1-2-1 layout, and the lack of bins down the middle make the cabin feel incredibly spacious. My home for the next 18 hours would be seat 29K, the last row of the business class cabin on this A350-900 ULR. Shortly after takeoff, champagne and warm nuts were served, and I got comfortable in this big, spacious business class seat. Sitting upright and to put your feet up is a little awkward, but once you're on board for a little bit, you can kind of get the hang of it, and it does become very comfortable. Let's take a look around this seat. Also, what's up, y'all? On the aisle armrest, you have all of your I/O. You have a 3-prong audio jack, a do not disturb button, flight attendant call and call cancel, as well as buttons for the leg rest that comes up or down. There is then seat back adjustments. Now, mind you, this doesn't go lie flat. From buttons, you have to fold it down, as well as the overhead light and the screen off button. Over your shoulder, there's different reading lights for the various positions of the bed, for a recline, a straight up, and a lie flat mode, all of which are incredibly helpful. The screen is large and very, very high definition, but I don't understand why it is not a touchscreen, considering you are so close. Underneath the seat, in this dark little cubby hole, is enough room for a pair of shoes and perhaps a backpack. And again, this is where your feet go when you do want to go to sleep or kick your feet up. A surprising amount of room down there, actually. You also have a personal lighted mirror, so you can look at how terrible and tired you look after 15 or 16 hours in the air. There is a small drinks table, as well as another little storage place where I kept the amenity kit that was not really anything remarkable. This is kind of how you have to wedge yourself if you're just sitting normally. Not too big of a deal, but it does get comfortable. Singapore's IFE system is staggering. It's probably the best in the sky if you wanted my opinion, which is why you're watching this video. There's pages and pages of movies, but when you do want to play a movie, you get like 4 really annoying ads. 3 of the 4 are static ads. You can't skip them. If you can, I couldn't find a way. The final ad is actually a real, ad that actually has some sound to it, but overall, it gets really annoying after watching one or two movies that you have to watch the same ad over and over again, especially considering I kept falling asleep. Meal service started with a seared tuna salad, which was okay, not hyper flavorful, but it did the job. I used Book the Cook to book my main. Of course, garlic bread was served that was actually kind of cold, but tasted good. The chicken and rice was unfortunately rather bland, despite adding quite a few of the little sides to kind of try to hop it up a little bit. I was kind of unimpressed, mostly because I've had better chicken rice on other Singapore flights. So that kind of let me down. For dessert, I didn't really get a choice because I was the last person in line. I was just had this ice cream thing and the fruit just plopped down in front of me without much discussion, despite having, the flight attendant having a pretty lengthy discussion with the people directly across the aisle with me, despite them having the exact same desserts, which kind of bothered me. And it felt like he was just unloading what was left in the cart on me. And overall the service on this flight was not the best. I'll talk about that more later. With the bed in bed mode, you can kind of see how you sleep on an angle, and it's very, very comfortable. Footwell, surprisingly for my size 13 feet, was really, really comfortable. About 7 hours after falling asleep, I decided we needed to take a look at the loo. Singapore actually gives you like real hand towels, which was nice. There's also cups for the mouthwash, and dental kits are included in the bathroom as opposed to in an amenity kit. Additionally, they do offer razors, which was a really nice touch, despite me not being able to grow a beard. And all of these products that were called Quirkus, which I think is the funniest thing in the entire world. Other than that, pretty standard bathroom, nothing remarkable about it. The door slides open, and it does have the two bathrooms put together, so there is a door in the middle that opens. About 15 minutes after that, I was served the next meal service, which was chicken satay, which was far and away the best thing I had on this flight. I think it was supposed to be a mid-flight snack, but I guess because I was asleep, they just put it all together. This was a salmon salad with potatoes and eggs that dressing was pretty good. The salmon was okay, moist, but not super flavorful. And I chose to go with a Riesling. For my main, I selected the beefsteak from the Book the Cook menu, served with polenta and some other vegetables. The sauce that was very flavorful. The steak was very, very well done, which no one wants, let's be honest, but we are 30,000 feet in the air, so I'll give them a little break there. As you can see, very, very well done steak. But not much you can say about that. It is what it is. We're on an airplane, I guess, but I just expected a little more from Singapore. Now we get to take apart the right side of the suite. So there is a little storage bin to the right side that I didn't ever use. My tray table, obviously. The remote for the IFE, which is the only way you get to control the IFE. A small little pouch where I just kind of put my toiletry bag, and then some USB charging and an additional reading light. I only had one window for this flight. The other window had a sticker above it that says "Do not open," which kind of sucked. I would have liked to have let some more daylight in as we approached. So now that we're at the end of the video, I do kind of want to talk about my experience with Singapore as a whole. I had really high expectations because everything you see on the internet, read on the internet, speaks so incredibly highly of Singapore. Unfortunately, I did not receive that level of service, and to be quite honest with you, I felt ignored. When the FAs would come down the cabin, they would speak directly to the people next to me, they would offer them a level of service that I was not getting. That is how I know that the expectation and that I was kind of being ignored. And I felt like a burden. In the menu, it says, if you would like an amenity kit, please ask. So I asked for a pair of slippers, and I did ask for an amenity kit. And the flight attendant rolled his eyes, walked away, and came back about 15 minutes later with the amenity kit. And I tried to not be a burden. I film a lot of this on my cell phone as to not make people feel like I'm intruding on them. But I just, you know, I didn't receive the same service that everyone else was. So for that reason, I just don't feel that Singapore did a good job with this flight or with me. And I don't know if it's because I look young. I don't know if it's because of what reason. Maybe that I got this fare on a cheaper booking because it was part of a multi-stop trip. But overall, they just did not meet the standard that they portray to the world and that they were providing to other passengers. And you guys might think I'm ridiculous for this, and that's totally okay. If you think I'm ridiculous, that's totally fine. But my job is to give my honest opinion, and regardless of whether they know who I am or not, and there's no reason they would know who I am, I can't say that I would want to fly with Singapore again, which sucks because I'm making another video about their service on a shorter flight that I was on to get to this flight with them, and the service was insane. It met all of the expectations and went above and beyond the expectations. So I don't know if this crew just had an off day, but it made me feel like you know, a second class traveler. And I know that sounds kind of ridiculous, but the way that the people directly across the aisle were being treated as opposed to the way I was being treated just doesn't equate. And I just can't figure out why they wanted to talk to those people and be super friendly with those people when, you know, I am please and thank you so much kind of person. That's how I was raised, is to be incredibly polite and to, you know, not expect, you know, service and I don't know. So I was kind of bummed. Overall, I was pretty bummed about the entire thing, but yeah. So maybe someday we'll give them a second chance, but as of right now, I can't genuinely say I was impressed by Singapore or that I thought they did a good job. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. More videos are going to be coming out. I've got like 7 or 8 to edit. But yeah, thanks guys. I really appreciate you guys being here. I really appreciate you guys hitting the like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. And ringing the bell. And I will see you very, very soon. Thank you guys. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.